Rap, supposedly rhyming and poetry, has become something that a lot of people gave up hope on, thinking that it will never be the same. Things like that, that's what gets people off focus. It never got me off focus because rapping is essential for me, and I'm pretty much stepping in intrepid. I believe I am so impassioned for this. It takes up all the building, the whole building, and beyond egotistical. I take that beyond egotistical, but I deprive for what is mine. I think the mic is very important, such as cannabis. I see him as an uncle to me. He really worked his way up, and the rap politics will not let him win over. They barely play this stuff on the radio. I'm not sure if I never heard cannabis music play on the radio. I've discovered cannabis watching on YouTube. Cannabis has been running things, pretty much ever since '98. But it was out before that, a few years before that, around '95, '96. When he came from songs 4, 3, 2, 1, that's pretty much started the beef with Mr. Smith, with Cool James. It's just not the same. It's not the same. Rapping is not the same. But at the same time, you need to look at it like this. There are artists out there that will break their back to make it back to what it was in the beginning, because hip-hop was supposed to mean healing our lives, healing other people's lives. Healing other people, having a good time, supposedly. That's where hip-hop started from. And, rapping is supposed to be rhyming and poetry. And poetry is expressing yourself, And so a lot of people, you don't have to understand for someone to make sense. But you can pretty much go into there and see, and I designate what I think makes sense. I pretty much designate anything that's important to me. I designate, lyrics. I recite poems. I recite lyrics. I recite lyrics from Eminem, Cannabis, Hops, and Pac all the time. They're my favorites. And I also would like to mention The Game. The Game is a person that a lot of people don't mention. He sold 1 million copies only because he was produced by Dre, during the time. 50 Cent came out with the MasterCard. He came out with the documentary. And The Game addresses a lot of things. I like the way he uses his metaphors. He mentions legends that were in the past. He mentions real stuff with his emotions. And he means a lot to me also. The Game is real. There's a lot of people that believe that, things have went satanic, not just in the hip-hop, not just in rap. For some reason, for whatever reason, World Star Hip Hop websites like World Star Hip Hop, BET, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, websites like that. Oh, did I forget one website? Oh, maybe I did. I'm not sure. It's not MySpace. There's another website that people post their photos on. It's Instagram. I'm pretty much not concerned about that because all I have is a Facebook and a YouTube. I just been pretty much posting videos on not too long ago, just recently. And I've been mostly posting videos from the basement, but I have a lot more places that I can post videos from. But this is the most, place that I can pretty much concentrate more against where I want to get to. There's a lot of people that started from here, as I mentioned. A lot of artists. And getting back to people like 2 Chainz, his music ain't important to me at all. I mentioned him a few times in a few of my songs that I wrote that I have not even posted yet because I haven't got any beats to it yet. I know a lot of people wondering, you've seen most of my videos, you're saying, oh, he doesn't have any beats, he doesn't have any studio sound. I'm pretty much trying to defer from what everyone else is doing because I know a lot of people have been able to get in the studio because they have the money and things like that. People got their little jewelry and stuff, they're flashing their jewelry, cars, they change their watches and the girls that they have. And I'm going to be completely honest, I'm pretty much not, I've had a few girls that I've been, attracted to, that I have interest in. They might not have exactly have interest in me, but that's just, I'm just saying with the proven point that I've been taking my focus off of that. I'm putting it into more mental into the cranium. I've been putting it more into that. But getting back to where I'm more concerned about, where if I were not to appear, with my opinions or whatever, posting my videos, what will really rap for rap's sake, hip hop's sake, period? What would it really turned into if people like me were not to come and to contribute, contribute what is supposed to be, necessary for it to happen. You know, this rap business is so, I'm telling you, this is not a game. This is seriously a game to me. You know, I'm no type of news reporter or none of that. I honestly, a few years back, before I decided rap was what I actually wanted to do, starting off, back when I was still writing rhymes, I kind of had interest to be a news reporter. I mean, I think news reporters, you can say what's scripted, but I believe in you can also come out with something, just to, shock and amaze people. Like, I'm not gonna always say what you gonna, I want to say something that's also off script. You know, say something that's unbelievable, something that's, that penetrates, but something that wasn't scripted. I that's pretty much why I have a lot of freestyles that I've been posting. I've been doing freestyles for a very long time, since I've been a fan of rap, and that's been since I was a little kid. There's a lot of things that I've been put through. I'm a victim of bullying, so if you think you can't relate to me, not one bit, I'm sure you can by a few things. Maybe not by everything, because I'm sure it's not everything. Pretty much maybe a few things that we could probably relate to each other on. And I would like to have someone I can connect to. That's why I have a few best friends. I don't have a whole pile of friends. I'm pretty much anti-social inside of school and pretty much in other places that are public. I pretty much don't approach people that don't approach me. I've done that before with a few females, but other than that, I'm pretty much, you can call me self-absorbed, whatever you want to call it, antisocial, the quiet, silent guy, but I can also be unsilent. And once I'm unsilent, I state rectitude, complete rectitude from here, all from here. There's no from nowhere else, and I also believe that more people like me need to stand up for what's right. Because if you don't stand up for what's right, who's going to hear you out? You know what I mean? Who's going to hear you out? Who's going to think for you? Who's going to use your brain? You have to use your own brain. And I'm pretty much connecting these dots in the puzzle. And I have this, this vision in my mind that I can sort of switch things around what rap has turned into. Because I know Eminem, he's produced a Slaughterhouse, Joel Ortiz, and one of his friends, Royce the 5'9", is also in Slaughterhouse. Joe Budden, Yellow Wolf. I'm also a huge fan of Yellow Wolf. Crooked Eye, he's cool. He's pretty dope. Dope lyricists like that say things that blow off the map. I just want to say things that just blow off the map, that blow people's mind also. But there's a certain way that I would like to put it past the flow. I want to put it past the flow. Any way, anyhow that I could do so. But Chief Keef, I don't like. I've heard that song. I listened to it. I vibed to it a few times. The chorus is pretty good, but the lyrics, if you listen to the lyrics, it's not that important. He's pretty much talking about a reckless life, doing chicks, things that he doesn't like, period, But, it seems as though you need to put emotion. I feel as though it's important to put emotion in your raps. I do that as the best I could as possible, expressing the way I can, as a way in Spanish, expresar, as a way I can put to it. I'm pretty much taking any advantage that I can as possible that I've already taken as far as I did. I want to make it farther. I never knew that I would be able to, as far as when I was a younger little kid, I never knew that I would pretty much be right here, right now, recording. And I didn't even know this technology, all these types of technology that people use is now, it's changed society. That's something else could change things, a lot of things. And people just got a lot of people just got lazy, and things just haven't been working out lately. It's 2013. Man, I've been a fan of rap since 2002. As I said before, I was 5 years old watching 8 Mile, man. And anybody's watching, this is all rectitude. Plain straight up, word up. This is all rectitude. I'm not trying to pretend like I'm somebody else as I will be before. I'm a huge fan of wrestling. I've been a huge fan of John Cena since I was 8 years old. He's also another person that I look up to. He's a fan of rap. I've seen a few of his rap freestyles on pro wrestling, SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, things like that, back when he had the basic thugonomic style, things like that. But I am, I just think it's important to be yourself. A lot of people will mention that. A lot of people don't be that because they want to fit into the crowds. I see a lot of crowds around me, and I see as though I don't really fit into certain crowds. I pretty much don't fit into much conversations unless it's important conversations like this containing rap that consists of important things that just, blows people's minds, you know what I'm saying? That I'm not gonna say exactly smart people, I'm not gonna say exactly dumb people, but there's a lot of people with lack of intelligence. And it's important to have intelligence um, as far as, things like, things that affects your health, you know, it's important to have intelligence about that also, that a lot of people in the music industry and they promote in the music industry, such as Wiz Khalifa, as I mentioned earlier, he promotes smoking weed and things like that. And, a lot of people don't understand that when you're not tall enough or old enough yet, smoking, something that I learned a few years back in health class, when I was in 7th grade, Pontiac Middle School, when I was a little, not too much of a tough guy. Never claimed to be. As of now, I'm definitely not claiming to be. But getting back to what I was mentioning, when you smoke, it reduces your height. If you're not tall enough, it decreases your height. A lot of people don't care about that. People that are my age and the youth of this time, especially in this time, this ain't the 80s, this ain't the 90s. This is the late 2000s. And we're going to remain in the 2000s for many years to come, ever since the new millennium, with the Y2K and things start. A lot of people thought that things were going to happen like the end of the world, 2012, things like that. But I think that the type of music that they play on the radio constantly promoting that is ending the world to me. And not just the music that's ending the world, it's a lot of things that's ending the world. And it's not really physically, but not verbally and mentally. It changes people reactions. I mean, the television, I don't really feed off into television anymore. As I said before, my mind is all focused to this, and that's that. But people that promote things like that and they talk about these different things in their lyrics and stuff, it's just nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And one of the other '90s groups that I listened to, Mobb Deep, they had a problem with Tupac Shakur, a while back. But I'm sure Pac was still alive right now. Pac will be 41 years old. He'd be 41 years old as of now. He'd be 42 in June 16th. But the beef would have been over, especially with Christopher Wallace and things like that. They would have moved on with their lives. But the media wanted to keep perpetuating things. They wanted to keep things going. They wanted to keep the confusion going. And now Pac isn't here anymore to pretty much reach the black generation as he wanted to, black America. And it just sickens me so much. And it's just so berserk. I just want to put it all into this ball. I want to put it into a bigger ball than Earth, a bigger ball than any globe, a bigger ball than any planet in the orbit. You know what I mean? Bigger than the sun, but the sun isn't a planet, it's a star. Which a lot of people wouldn't know that. Some people wouldn't recognize that or ever think about that. But I'm sure some people know. There's a lot of people with at the same, exact intelligence. But I managed to, put all my pain into one spot. This is a notebook that I found very important, to pretty much let you know where it's at, stating straight facts, because this isn't a game. This whole thing is just not a game to me. I look up to Mobb Deep. I look up to Eminem, Tupac Shakur. I look up to Cannabis Hobson, Yellow Wolf, lyrical geniuses, man. I study the game. I listen to his music. I don't listen to Kendrick Lamar as much. I think he's pretty talented. I vibe to his music a few times, but I'm not pretty much into his music that much. But as I said before, he's pretty cool. MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, his music is meaningful. He made it from rough, tough times, and now he's kicking lines. And not a lot of the world knows him a lot. He has a lot of views on YouTube. I should be getting many views pretty soon. As far as the views that I've been posting on YouTube, I mean, what's be posted, as you see in the future, when you look back, you pretty much see what reflects back to you, because a lot of things catches back up to people. People have been putting a lot of dirt on rap with their uncensored. I mean, as far as the um explicitness, you can say whatever you want, as I said before. I mean, there's not really a debate to that when it comes to me, but there's a debate when you talk about money, sex, and drugs constantly. You know, it's just it's not good at all. You know what I mean? Um, I find it very amazing that a lot of people have been maintaining. They've been maintaining to keep the stuff playing on the radio. Um, there's a few artists with talent, but their music just changed completely for some reason. Um, I think dope people like Royce the 5 for 9 should be noticed. I also listen to Bruno Mars. He's not a rapper or anything like that. I see him as a modern day soul singer, but he appeared on a song with Lighters, with Eminem and Royce the 5 for 9, Bad Meets Evil. He appeared on the song with them. He also was with the song with Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa. And it has been a year since Tupac Shakur's hologram has been presented to the world by Dr. Dre. The hologram made me so emotional. It made me emotional. It made me think like, Pac was really here. What he really approved this hologram. What he really approved of things, people putting, dirt on what he accomplished. Things like that. They just trying to speculate, as Immortal Technique would say, what would Pac would say. Immortal Technique has very dope lyrics, but I'm not even sure if they're not even up to Tupac's level or Biggie's level. But pretty much when people mention Tupac, they mention Biggie. When they mention Biggie, they mention Tupac, because everyone knows about how the industry was back in the 90s. It wasn't really mandatory that you had to, be underground to let it be known. See, now when you're mainstream, you can't. There's not really facts that are really kicking. I mean, maybe some facts that they think that they're kicking. People like Chris Brown that want to switch over to R&B and rap, but but underground now it's really important because mainstream sucks. A lot of people will pretty much agree with that. There is no debate to that. It sucks, and as I said, Tupac. He came out of jail of being framed for sodomy, something that he pretty much, admitted that he never did. Coming out of jail, releasing All Eyes on Me. Pretty much was a big album, a huge album, sold 1 million copies. But I think the very last album, Illuminati, the Machiavelli 7-Day Theory, should have been also sold a lot of copies and should have been very accomplished. I think it should have been noticed more as noticed, but a few songs. The main song that's been noticed from the Illuminati 7-Day Theory is Hail Mary. A lot of people know that, which was performed in this hologram. That song is deep in a way that a lot of people might not understand. They just like the beat. That's another thing I like to address. A lot of people might think, I kick rhymes. I can go without a beat with the beat, like most MCs can do. If you're really talented, you can go without a beat. That's cool. But I think a lot of people just vibe to a song because they like the beat, such as people like Gucci Mane. People that are part of Brick Squad. People that are not even famous. There's artists around here where I'm at in Pontiac, Michigan, is where I reside. I'm in Michigan. I grew up here, and there's artists out here such as First D. They have a lot more. They have more views than me on YouTube. And I just think like they talk about. I mean, I feel as though they talk about reality, but they talk about smoking just like everybody else does. Let's see. But there's more to talk about, that, like, as I said before. But there's a way you can put it though, and there's a lot of circumstances that surrounded the way rap is turned into. It's as Cannabis would say, it was a turning knob. It's a knob you can turn. You know what I mean? It's a knob to turn, and I feel as though I'm on my way to unlocking the combination. Wayne is a skateboarder. I think, as I said before, he's not really dope, but his metaphors are dope. I see him as, there's a lot of, I'm not judging anyone, but I'm not a big fan of homos. I'm not really too happy with homos. I also think this is a homo world. This world is filled with sluts and homos, and that's very promoted almost everywhere. On television, music videos these days, and these days of time. If you look back in late 90s, before Pac, when he was pretty much bringing artists on his album, to pretty much get more, get noticed, the album to get noticed more. That's how the album was noticed more, because he got artists and stuff like that. He wanted to make an army, make them figure out, what is the government about? What is the government really about? You know what I mean? And you gotta think. I question. You know what I mean? I question, as I said before. I mean, where will Pac be? You know what I mean? I know he pretty much should be in more movies. He was supposed to have a part in the movie with Baby Boy, which has Snoop Dogg in it. One of my favorite movies from Tupac is Juice. His character is so meaningful to me. His character means a lot to me. He relates to me in a few ways that I can explain, in some ways that I can't explain. He went through a lot, and he's pretty much angry with not getting respect. And it's very important to get respect. I see respect as it's respect. If you don't get respect, then you might as well not even be a human. You know what I mean? There's a lot of ways that I am very sometimes confused which direction am I gonna put this or set this, but Tupac pretty much came and he brought it to the world where it should have been brought to the world, as a young black male, the way it should have been brought to the world, with the voice that a lot of Caucasians and a lot of other races wouldn't really want to deal with, or people that wouldn't want to understand where he was coming from with the anger, and socially, and I'm definitely sure if Pac was here, would definitely be no problem at all. There will be so much changes. He stated before in the Vibe magazine, the Vibe interview back in '96, back in May of '96. He said, I would have to be changed by the world. I'll change the world. I have to be changed by the world. And let's see what happened. September 7th, 1996. I think Suge Knight has a part of this, but he wouldn't, pretty much, as he said, he wouldn't, even if it's his friend, he wouldn't tell. It's just, it's a different, it's just a different ways things have happened. It's a shame, it's pathetic. But as me, empowered, and I look up to Tupac Shakur. He means so much to me. I've been listening to him when I turned 11 years old. I have his picture on my cake beside of my picture. I've been listening to him since around I was 11. But I pretty much know all of his songs. I have a lot of covers that I would like to do for him. I would like to meet Afeni and tell her how much Tupac means to me, because it really does mean a lot to me. And there's ways that he had a lot of things to say. And there's a lot of propagandas that he wanted to put. He had propagandas that he wanted to spread. And there's people that would listen, there's people that wouldn't listen. But as I said before, as a young black male, and we, as us people, we're known for slavery. Supposedly, people will look at us, like we're gonna automatically rob you or something. We're just straight up negative like that. You know what I mean? It also makes me angry. People can look at someone and just judge them by the color of their skin. You know what I mean? And Dr. Martin Luther King, people like that. See, this is why rap should be very, stable, because even though I see myself as unstable sometimes, because the world does seem strange at times, as Pac would say. But where am I trying to get with this? Rap should be have knowledge like Dr. Martin Luther King. It should be positive, with something someone can listen to that makes sense. It has a voice with power, like Malcolm X or Fred Hampton. You know what I mean? And it's just very important to know that rap should not be what it is now. That's pretty much plain and simple. People like Big Sean, 2 Chainz, and Kanye West just changed from somewhere else. I'm not understanding. It's just very pathetic that rap has become a mark. I want to put a mark. I want to make a history. Something that will be, looked at as of history. As I said, I'm 15 years old, and I'm still trying to figure out the pieces to the puzzle. I have some ideas that I can just snap out just like that. and they come to me 24/7, you know. And as a president, as Barack Obama as a president, you know, I want to if he looks at, you know, what his rap has turned into, you know, as a black president, or supposedly the first black president, he's half black, you know, but you know, Hobson addressed, you know, about Barack Obama just as I did, you know, and people don't want to hear facts though. People don't want to hear facts, you know what I mean? But you know, some people will listen and some won't. It's just the way it is, as Pop would say. But there needs to be changes to this rap industry. Rap has become something that has been global. A lot of people would like to try to do different ethnics, different races, things like that. People give it a shot at it, and there's people that have skills like that that aren't exactly black. You don't have to be exactly black or Hispanic. But the point is that this rap industry is something that this rap industry, as far as the mainstream, is not good at all. But the underground became so level with realness, you know what I mean? And we spread that, you know what I mean? But it's not going to be promoted like the stuff is on the radio, you know, the stuff that's aired on the radio. You know, things that are real enough for people to listen to. Maybe some things that are real, like Pac, they play his stuff every once in a while, you know, since his last big album was 96. And it's just, man, be more into acting, political party. You know, he said, God will, I'm alive, it's on. We'll have our own political party. You know, and it's really a shame that it had to end. It never ended to me. I see it as still a light, as it's like it's just beaming right now, this light bulb. Because without the light, pretty much lost. You know what I mean? This is just hectic. Yeah. But rap is and will always remain. It will remain something that people will know as a genre, just like the other genres. People see rap as negative sometimes. Rap doesn't have to be negative. It's what you make it. Rap is not negative to me. It's not negative to most people. It can be positive, and it can also be negative because people make it that way. And I have more that I can say on this subject, but you just let me know what you think. This rap business is something that is, you know, it's a job. Rap is a job, but I see it as my job. I see it as my job to kick rhymes. It's really my job to kick a rhyme and let you know how I feel that day and time.